The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio. From hot dogs to cool kitties, this is Darkside of the Pooch.
Welcome back to the Dark Side of the Pooch. He is Dr. Rab Stewart, Rossburg Animal Hospital. I'm Tony Kurre. We do Dark Side of the Pooch every single week. We've had a couple of weeks during the summertime where, things just happen. Things just going on. We're getting back to college football and school season starting next week, so we'll get back to the regular routine for you folks. Just have to have your Dark Side of the Pooch every single week. We'll get into it. I have been walking your neighborhood a lot. I'm still, as a matter of fact, as soon as I get done here doing the show, I am heading towards Ross Bridge, and I will walk up to your store in just a few minutes. Is it raining out there?
I'm looking outside right now. I can't wait to see you.
There you go. If you're going to be there past 5 o'clock, I'll get up there and come see you. How have you been? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's great. Okay. It's a great day today. We were recording this episode, and last I checked, it was 79 degrees.
I know, isn't it craze? I mean, it's great.
Yeah. But something else? I just realized this. Dark Side of the Pooch related. I've started, and I didn't start this because of the name of our show, but I started it because I just had curiosities. But I recently started reading a book on Syd Barrett, the original vocalist for Pink Floyd.
Crazy. Dude had some, was out there.
I'm starting to get into it. I'm about 100 pages into it, and he's starting to dabble in things he should not be dabbling in, and I'm afraid that may have led to his
many people would say that's why problems. Many people would say that's why Pink Floyd was Pink Floyd, but unfortunately, Roger Waters and some of the other members didn't feel like Syd was really online with where they needed to go, musically speaking, because it got so weird. But you'll learn that probably in the next couple 100 pages. But what's the name of the book you're reading?
It is called. It's the life of Syd Barrett but there's a title above that. It is something about this is funny. A very irregular head, the life of Syd Barrett.
That's a perfect title. No doubt. Yeah. So I went for a walk yesterday out at Chase Lake, and I'm walking down. It rubs right up against the Cahaba River, this park down there. And so I'm walking, and I see this white bird, like a all white bird with blue in its feathers.
And was it a stork? Did it have a baby with it?
Well, right away I said, this bird does not fit in. This is not a bird I've ever seen before. And it's flying in the trees, and it's a little bird. I'm going, what is that? And then I look down, and there's a white cage that is down right next to where the river comes up to the walkway, and the door's open. There's a water bowl, and there's no food left. And so it looks like someone has just placed a cage down there and just opened it up and said, go for it, big guy. Let's see what can happen here. And so I'm thinking to myself, this is the weirdest thing, because you just don't normally see people just dropping off birds. Of course, you don't ever see people dropping off animals anyway, because they usually do it in their backyards or whatever. I've been known to throw a rat out in the backyard. I think maybe I've let go of a hamster or two. I don't know, whatever happens, because if it's a nice day, feel like they want to go for a walk. If it comes back, then it was meant to be, kind of thing. But I've never seen a bird like someone, like I've seen, like I can understand if you let a bird fly away, but to put the actual cage down there and like leaving it up to the bird on whether he wants to split. So I walked around, I was with my son, and I said, wait a minute. I said, and so I walked down there to the cage, and when I walked down the cage, it would fly away, and it would sit in the trees, and it would make all kinds of ruckus. And then as soon as I walk away, it would fly back down to its cage, and it would hang outside. And so I thought, well, maybe I should go see if I can rescue this bird. If I can rescue it at all, I don't know. And I thought, well, maybe at nighttime it sleeps in its cage. And so maybe at nighttime it'll go down to its cage, and then maybe I can walk up to it, close the door, and walk off with it, because I didn't want to see this, because I'm assuming it's not going to make it. What's your thoughts on that?
What if it was a wild bird, but someone put a cage down there to try to catch it? That doesn't seem possible, though, right?
No, yeah, and I like your way of thinking here, but it was a parakeet.
It was a parakeet.
Yeah, it was a parakeet. It was a parakeet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a white bird. It was like it's not supposed to be out in the wild. It was a parakeet. It was one of those pet parakeets. If you go to food or pet stores or whatever, and they got all those parakeets, the green ones, the white ones, the blue ones, and it was a white parakeet.
Is a parakeet? Is that what they? Is that what they had taped the head on in Dumb and Dumber?
I don't know. I will tell you this. I bought my ex, one of the first times we ever got together, I bought her a pair of lovebirds for Valentine's Day. And within a year, one had taken the head off the other. They're not really lovebirds. If they get tired of each other, one will kill the other. They just get tired. They just end up taking each other's heads off. Yeah.
I mean, is it really that much different than humans that are married?
No, it really isn't. I mean, praying mantis, was a female devours the male after she mates with it, right?
Wow. I mean, what a metaphor.
Which would really not be a bad way to go.
What a metaphor.
So what if you were out seeing this, what would be your initial, I haven't seen my cat in 6 years. I believe my cat's still alive. I really do, because it was an outdoor cat. It came in whenever it got like really, really cold. It would come to the door and I'd let it in. It would go into the laundry room. And then as soon as it warmed up a little bit, it wanted to go back outside again. But and when I brought that thing over here, man, it got out of its cage like 5 times. The thing was like, it was getting out. It did not like being in a kennel. And I've got other cats in the neighborhood, and so I'm assuming. But I mean, for a bird like that, what's the chances? What does a bird like that have? Does a bird have a shot? Yeah,
0.
Only because it'll be eaten by something else.
Yeah, I think the bird has 0 shot. I don't think it even knows how to find food to live. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah,
yeah. I think that. Animals like that need to be shown how to live, Yeah. Like that bird's going to be flying around looking for little pellets to eat. Well, that doesn't exist in the wild. Now, maybe it'll get lucky and think, oh, I wonder if I could eat that bug,
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll be totally random if it can learn how to do that.
Well, yeah, that's true. Because we just think that a bird knows what to eat, right? But it doesn't really. Yeah. It doesn't really, because when it's been born and raised, that's a weird point.
Yeah, that thing's definitely. I mean, that thing wasn't born in the wild, and they're like, oh, we're gonna go catch a wild bunch of wild parakeets and sell them at the pet store. Yeah, that's not how it works.
Speaking of eating, I was on Facebook earlier today, and something popped up. Maybe it's because of Darkside the Pooch. By the way, Darkside the Pooch is brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics right there, Citation Lane. I've mentioned that. I've been there several times. Seth and these guys, they get over 300,000 comics. The place is crazy. I mean, if you want a toy unboxed, you got stuff in great shape. They'll go ahead and take your comics, and they'll actually go ahead and proof it and make sure that it gets the right grade, whatever it is. You got something to buy or sell or trade, man, check out Sasquatch Toys and Comics. A zoo. I saw this message. Denmark Zoo was asking for donations yesterday. The Aalborg Zoo, through trying to mimic the natural food chain of the animals housed there for the sake of both animal welfare and professional integrity, is offering assurances that any unwanted pets will be gently euthanized by a trained staff to be fed to the other animals at the zoo. The zoo in northern Denmark explained in a Facebook post that if you have a healthy animal that needs to be given away for various reasons, feel free to donate it to us. The zoo points out to guinea pigs, rabbits, chickens, cats, dogs, possible donations. After being euthanized, the animals will be used as fodder. That way, nothing goes to waste, and we ensure natural behavior, nutrition, and well-being of our predators. The online call for pet donations is accompanied by a picture of a wild cat baring its teeth with its mouth wide open and a link to the zoo's website. Noting the facility also is interested in receiving horses.
But I wonder what they're euthanizing them with, because some things don't need to be ingested. So it's like,
I would assume that, well, I would assume that if you're sending a live pet or you bring a live pet, then just if you're trying to mimic what wildlife's like and you want to let a horse go inside of a, this sounds like a really sick Jurassic Park scene.
No, but they're euthanizing them before they're feeding them.
Yeah.
It sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is a lot of these euthanasia solutions, like if you pump an animal full of euthazol and you feed it to another animal, it's going to make that animal sick.
Well, again, I don't know whether maybe they're not euthanizing it with any type of solution. Maybe they're just. My grandma used to wring chickens' necks on the back line.
What are they hitting it over the head with a tire iron?
I don't know. I mean, but who are we to say what the proper way is to euthanize a horse that you don't want anymore, or
I'm looking this up right now,
or a guinea pig? For God's sakes, it's a wild story. It's something I've never seen. It makes sense. I mean, it was funny because I'm just sitting there. Obviously, you don't want to euthanize a bird. I don't know what could eat a small bird, but I see this person, whoever was, left a really nice cage and a parakeet out in the wild because they obviously didn't want to do anything with it. And so they left it out, whereas they could have actually donated it to the Denmark Zoo.
Yeah, I'm really interested because what we use over here, and the United States is probably far cry from Denmark.
Yeah.
And a lot of different things, especially like environmental and energy things, which I'm not into politics. So you can take that and shove it. Anybody out there that's getting mad at me. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Yeah. But anyway, this is euthazol. Do not use in animals intended for food. It's an environmental hazard. This product is toxic to wildlife. Birds and mammals feeding on treated animals may be killed. So I would like to know what they're using in Denmark to euthanize the animals prior to feeding them to the zoo members.
Isn't that crazy? I would wonder because I'm not saying that if you ever put a rat with a snake. The rat doesn't know it's supposed to be afraid of the snake. It's been brought up to be a rat, and it's just been fed, and it's never been around a snake before. And to watch it is amazing because the snake knows it wants to eat the rat. So the snake's fine. It was taught early. You hand feed snakes to the point where they get used to having pinkies, and they know they love the smell of rats. They love eat rats. So it's almost hilarious to drop a giant sized rat in with my Balboa because that stupid rat will walk right up to the Balboa and start sniffing its face. And I mean, it's like within a second, and it's gone. It's just,
man.
Yeah, it's quite amazing to watch. And you're kind of like, well, you dumbass, you would think that, there's another animal in there with you. You want it. Now, after the snake goes after the rat a couple of times, if it doesn't get it the first couple of times, the rat's freaking out. And then you kind of feel bad for the rat because, I mean, it'd be like you and I being stuck in a room with a 10-foot guy who's trying to kill us 24 hours a day, and you can't sleep, you can't do anything. This poor rat is it's over there, the water ball, getting a drink, looking at it side eye. It's really kind of sad. Now, I have let some rats go because after 2 or 3 days, if my snake doesn't eat it, that it doesn't like the smell of it, I'll let it go. I'll put it in the backyard, and I figured the rat would live outside for a while. But yeah, so I don't know really what would happen if you put a horse in with a lion. Would a lion even know what to do in a zoo?
Yeah.
Or would the horse go up and try to befriend it? Would it be like dropping a baby in a gorilla pit? Like they don't really know each other?
Let's go back to the bird that we talked about at the beginning of the show. So if the lion had been like bred and born in captivity, maybe it wouldn't know what to do with it. But if it had spent any time out in the wild, I think that it would know what to do with it. And also, horses are afraid of everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would think that the horse wouldn't want anything to do with a lion or a tiger, especially if it showed any aggression towards it at all. But I don't know. I don't know if the predators were raised in captivity or not.
Well, you cannot tell me in a sick way. You cannot tell me that at least one of these animals would be given to another animal that was still alive. So hey, like Thursday night, 8:00. This one to close the zoo, and we're letting this horse go in the lion chamber. You gonna be there? Yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna be there. But we're not. Gonna, you know, I mean, in a sick kind of way. Wouldn't you want to see that in a weird? I mean, it's life, right? I mean, we watch these history channels. We watch these channels with these animals killing other animals all the time, and it's amazing. Now that's out in the wild. But if you know that the horse is going to be euthanized anyway, or if I give my guinea pig to I don't know what the hell, what would even eat a guinea pig? What animal would eat a guinea, like a badger or something? I mean, what would you feed a guinea pig to? And will an animal eat some? Because my snake won't eat dead things.
I think a cat would eat a guinea pig. I think
like a bobcat or something like that. Yeah, maybe a wolf or something like that.
Cat, I think, wild dogs, coyotes and stuff, and wild cats. I mean, they'll eat tons of stuff.
Yeah,
like squirrels and birds and rabbits and that kind of stuff. But see, there's something about. But here to me is where I draw the line. If you're out in the wild and you got a predator hunting its prey, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But when you have it trapped in some confined space, to me, that's where, I don't think I can watch it.
Yeah. What about these deer compounds, these hunting areas where they have a big high fence and they have a bunch of deer in there, and then you just go inside the fence area and you shoot it? They do that too. I'm not really. I don't like that. You basically are guaranteed to get a kill because they got all these huge deer inside of this area that they can't get rid of. Now, granted, it's hundreds and hundreds of acres. Don't get me wrong. You have to know where to go. But
I guess if you want to get into I don't know, some existential, problem, you could say, oh, well, everything's in captivity. We're all in captivity. And I will think no lesser of you for saying yes. But if you knew that they were going to let a horse go inside the lion cage tonight at the Birmingham Zoo, would you go see it? I'm sorry, I'd have to go see it. I mean, I know it's going to get. I can't do it.
It's going to get well. That's your animal heart.
Yeah,
that's your animal heart. You can't do it because, and you've treated horses.
Yeah, I've treated a lot of horses, and watching something like that.
Are you going to have nightmares tonight? Are you going to have stinking nightmares of what we talked about today? Because I think I'm going to.
But watching something, because look, we watch stuff die almost every day. When this show ends, I have to euthanize a 23-year-old cat.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And so we watch stuff die all the time, and we're
23 years old. Wow, that's amazing.
We're used to it, but it's in a controlled environment where we are providing alleviation from suffering. So it's not so much it's not so much that it's dying, but it's watching an animal be hurt until it dies. That's the problem.
Yeah,
for me.
No, I get it. I mean, I get it. That's got to be it. So
but there's lots of people that would. There's lots of people that would.
So, since you brought this up, the euthanization of a 23-year-old cat, what was different, say, between the ages of 21 and 23 for this cat, for this owner to finally say, "Listen, it was time"?
Well, they brought it in earlier today, and it just really wasn't doing much of anything.
Yeah.
Can't really stand, can't really walk, not really eating. So probably for the last couple of years, it's been doing a lot more moving around and eating.
Yeah. That's sad. What's the cat's name? Do you know?
The cat's name is
just so we can put a
Lucy.
name with it.
Lucy.
We can put a name with it. That's sad. Now, when you euthanize an animal, does the owner usually want to be there for that, or is that usually they drop off, say their goodbyes, and go?
Probably 90% of them want to be there.
Okay.
Which is fine with us. I mean, does it make things a little harder when they're there? Yes, but it's harder because we have to help manage those emotions, and we have to, live in those emotions. And that's not like, a super fun place to be.
Yeah.
But it's important. If it's important for them to stay and be there for their pet, then we want them to do that. We want to give them the opportunity to be there at the end.
Yeah. Dr. Rab Stewart, veterinarian, does fantastic work. Of course, owns the Rossbridge Animal Hospital, 208-0301, 208-0301, rossbridgevet.com.org.net. You can check him out on his website, and of course, also see them on the Facebook page. Not to, because it seems like we've only been talking about killing animals today. I don't want to sound like we're a Debbie Downer here, but I do find it also interesting. There is an influx of animals now at LA shelters. Do you know why?
I mean, are you going to tell me what the reason is? Or
I will tell you. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but because owners are being detained in the immigration raids out there, they've got another.
Oh, wow.
They've got another. Yeah, you don't really think about things like that, right? Because one thing affects another thing, affects another thing, affects another thing, and so you go out there and doing raids at farms and wherever Home Depots or wherever you think immigrants are working, and they have families and they have dogs and they have cats.
Is that what we're doing in California? Is that happening?
At least according to the news, yes. There's been an influx of animals at LA shelters because there have been so many people that are being taken by ICE, and they also have animals that need to be taken care of. And they're like, okay, now what are we going to do? So their family members like, well, it ain't my dog. It's not my dog. I guess we let the thing go.
Poor California, man. I mean, what a mess.
It is. It really is a hot mess, isn't it? I mean,
it's a mess out there.
I was talking to Dr. Josh Claypo. He's been over the UK for about a month. And he has been blessed to have the financial fortitude to be able to do pretty much whatever he wants. His wife wanted to go over there and live for like a month just to see what it would be like. And they can work from wherever they are. They do, visual Zoom calls and all this other stuff, so he can work wherever he wants. And he's like, man, I love my country. He said, but we just need to chill out. We're just so, he's like, it's so chill over here. And I'm like, well, you have to understand you're on vacation. You're at really nice restaurants. You're at really nice posh resorts. You're probably being catered. He goes, yeah, but we're getting out. We're going to bars. We're going to games. We're going to, and for the most part, people have been really, really nice to us. And it just seems like, he said, we're just so uptight in the United States of America. Like we're always just constantly trying to say, I'm better than this, or I'm better than you, or I'm, and look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And he goes, it's just gotten the point. And he goes, over here, it's just so relaxed and so veg. And I'm like, well, they've been around for like 800 million years too. I mean, they got bars over there that are older than our country, for God's sakes.
I think their drug laws over there are pretty relaxed too.
I think they have too.
Probably out of their mind.
Maybe in 600 years, we're getting ready to sell our 250th. Maybe when we're as old as Britain, we will have, chilled out a little bit, relax.
Yeah, the older you get, the more you know who you are. You're a little bit more secure.
Exactly.
So right now we are. I mean, in the grand scheme of countries that exist, I mean, how do we relate to
like a 9-year-old?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're probably like a tween.
Yeah.
Are we a tween? Are we a tweener right now?
At the oldest,
we don't. Yeah, we're not even really sure what we're capable of.
Yeah. What's been going on in your place? We haven't talked about 2 or 3 weeks. Anything particularly happening? Any interesting? Thank you for sharing the story about the euthanization. That keeps it real for us. But anything else going on? Any interesting surgeries or anything you've done?
Man, we have a case right now. We're trying to figure out what's going on. It just came in today, and it's white blood cell count is really out of whack, and it's got a fever. And it's probably going to have some type of infectious disease, or possibly like a type of cancer that affects the bone marrow or blood. And this dog, according to the owners, was totally fine a few days ago, and then it just started throwing up. And I've talked about this on the show more than once, and I tell people about, I give people this analogy all the time, is that, people seem to think that dogs and cats, they get sick very quickly and they're very fragile. And then they, when they get sick super fast and they just die.
Yeah.
And while that is partly true, the other thing is they can't tell you when they start feeling sick. And this dog probably started feeling sick weeks, if not longer ago.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's really, really hard, even for like a veterinary professional, to pick up on that, because dogs, for the most part, especially older dogs, like this dog's almost 10 years old, 10-year-old dogs just lay around a lot. They're not super active. They may not, they're definitely not eating like they were eating when they were a 2-year-old dog. So, it's really, to see a dog that quote unquote was totally fine 3 days ago, and now it barely has any white blood cells to fight off infection of any kind. It's like, well, how did that happen? Well, it's been happening over the course of several weeks.
Yeah. And thank you for bringing that up, because I went through it firsthand with my dog. I guess it's been almost a year ago. I've never had a dog get cancer or get sick. I've gotten dogs hit by cars and they've died of old age, but I've never had a dog just get that sick. And I think I was kind of the same way, where I was like, over the course of the 3 or 4 days, my kids are like, hey, you're going to take the dog in because he hasn't been eating and something's been going on. And in some cases that may happen 2 or 3 times during the life of a particular dog. And he works through it. Maybe he's got a stomach ailment, or he had a hold of something out of the trash can or whatever, and he'll be fine, right? He'll be good. And then, we did everything we could to save him. The process that I think you take is really amazing, because we know so much about humans, and us humans can tell each other how we feel, that we could pretty much pinpoint something almost immediately. Enough so that I can go to an overnight emergency care and say, I'm not feeling well. And pretty much within 5 minutes, they can go, listen, I think it's this, or this, just by swabbing, doing something, looking at something. When you're talking about an animal getting sick, you have no clue. So you have a checklist of about 150 things it can be, and you have to start checking those things off. And in hopes that you find out what it is before it ends up killing that animal's life. And it's just, a lot of people need to realize that just because the dog's got a high blood cell count, that could be one of a million different things.
Yeah.
So, and I hope people understand that. So great stuff, my friend. A lot of death, a lot of killing animals. I'm going to have nightmares tonight of horses inside tiger cages. I just I don't see, and a lot of animals, see lions and stuff like that at zoos are used to being fed, but like wildlife, it needs to be alive in order to kill it. I can't put a dead rat in. It must kill it first in order to eat it. And that's why if I leave a rat in there for 3 or 4 days and the rat dies on its own, it's not going to eat it. There's no reason to, So we'll keep a close eye on that story. Brought to you by
you could definitely. Well, think about this, like chicken fighting. If people have an appetite for this, it's illegal, but like people have an appetite for this, and it's been happening for hundreds of years. Yeah. Okay. The Roman Coliseum.
Oh,
look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Look, we've been putting people in harm's way for millennia.
Oh, they used to put hippos. They put hippos and not feed them for weeks on end and put a human being in front of them and make them run for their life. There's something that tells me this is going to be like that Jurassic Park. I think it was like not the last one, the one before that, where they had all the rich people coming into the hotel and they were buying these dinosaurs to create. They were going to make them into defensive units. Something tells me that there's like a Denmark VIP zoo membership. And you're getting like a text going, don't forget to join us 8:00 Thursday night for the live feeding of, Sasquatch, the lion cub or whatever. And you're like, oh yes, because we're the VIP, you get to go once a year to see the live feeding of Simba. This year it's going to be a horse, from a stable out in the outbrooks of whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and because I know some sick bastards would love to see that. And
it sounds like a weird offshoot of Eyes Wide Shut.
No doubt. No, it's like watching The Running Man. You know what I mean? It's like you're part of a live audience watching some dude try to save his life. Yeah, it's sick. We'll get there sooner enough. We're being desensitized pretty much on a everyday basis, to the point we'll probably end up stomaching that type of action. All right, brought to you by Sasquatch Toys and Comics, right there, Citation Lane. Seth does a wonderful work. If you got a toy that's unopened, you find out in your attic, man, check it out and bring it down to the buy, sell, and trade. And they've got over 300,000 comics down there. Sasquatch Toys and Comics, proud sponsor of Darkside of the Pooch. My friend, thank you so much. We will catch up next week.
See you, bud.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.